Now, we brought you this story exclusively a few weeks ago. Labor's mobile phone blackspot program is, as it sounds like, it's designed to help rural and remote communities get adequate mobile phone reception to end black spots. But 40 out of the 54 funding allocations were awarded to Labor-held seats. Tonight, we can exclusively reveal that Shadow Communications Minister David Coleman has written to the Auditor-General today, calling for an investigation into this pork barrelling. In his letter, he writes, "It is clear, in my view, that round 6 of the program was designed for political purposes and represents a misuse of taxpayer funds. Every single one of the 54 locations to receive funding under the program were personally chosen by the minister." He writes that of the 27 locations in New South Wales, all 27 were in Labor electorates. In this context, I note that the minister is also the president of the Labor Party in New South Wales. He writes, "Plainly, it is impossible to argue that 100% of the need for mobile coverage in regional New South Wales is in Labor electorates." He says if communities were not on the list chosen by the minister, they were precluded from applying. And David Coleman joins me live now from Canberra. David, thanks for your time. Why is this issue so important? We see pork barrelling in politics all the time. Why does it matter in this program in particular?
Oh, this is hugely important, Sharri, because there are 3 problems with this round 6 of the mobile black spot program. It's dodgy, it's dodgy, and it's dodgy. There are people out there in bushfire-affected communities who desperately need improved mobile coverage for safety reasons. If those communities weren't on the minister's hand-picked list, they weren't allowed to apply. And that's just wrong. And no sensible person can say that 74% of the need, 3/4 of the need across the country is in Labor electorates. And in New South Wales, and also Victoria actually, 100% of the allocations are in Labor seats. So, this isn't a sort of line ball kind of issue here. This is just a incredibly egregious example of pork barrelling. It's totally unacceptable, and a full investigation is really required here.
Tell me about some of the areas that did miss out on this funding that desperately need it because they might be in areas that are prone to floods or bushfires and where the people would need mobile phone coverage where, as you say, it might be a matter of life and death.
Sure, there was an example in the Upper Yarra, a town called Healesville down in Victoria, which has had very serious issues with bushfires in the past, and the community and the council have got together and prepared documentation about why they need mobile black spot coverage. But unfortunately for them, they're in the Liberal electorate of Casey, and they weren't on the list. And I just think that's wrong, Sharri. And, the interesting thing here is the minister's not even really seeking to defend or, say that my characterisation of the program is wrong, because she's acknowledged that she did personally select the list of sides. She's acknowledged the numbers that we went through before, and I just don't think that is acceptable. I think that a fair-minded Australian would say that for a government that has talked a big game on integrity, this is very different. And I just want to read, Sharri, something that Anthony Albanese said in 2021. I don't want to misquote it. I'm actually going to read it.
Sure,
he said,
let's hear it.
Taxpayers deserve better than to have their taxpayer funds from their hard work funnelled into marginal electorates on the basis of a political whim. So that's Anthony Albanese before the election, 2021, but now, this is what his government has just done.
Yeah, because of course Labor was very critical of similar pork barrelling schemes or pork barrelling that happened under your government, under the coalition when you were in government, and I raised those when I interviewed David Littleproud on the show about this a few weeks ago. Just very quickly before you go, David, you did try and get this up with a Senate inquiry. The Greens didn't support it. I've had independent MP Helen Haynes on my show. She did support an inquiry. She's really upset about this program, how funding has only gone to Labor areas. Are you hopeful that the Auditor-General will conduct an investigation?
I certainly am, and I have great respect for the Office of the Auditor-General, and I certainly hope that he will do so. I think the Greens' conduct was shameful. I mean, Senator Pocock, to his credit, voted for this inquiry. Helen Haynes, of course, supported it as well, but the Greens didn't, and we can work out the reasons for that. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But yes, I certainly do hope that the Auditor-General will investigate this because it is a very serious matter.
All right. David Coleman, thank you very much for your time.